So in the last three videos, we've created our banner. We've had him move into the screen and the star twirl into the banner as well. Now we'd like to make our banner a little bit more exciting and have the star shape change color as he rolls into our banner. In order to do this, you might think that, hey, I can click on this star and maybe in this keyframe I can just go over here to my color tool and choose a color. Notice that that doesn't work. Okay. My next thought would be maybe I double click on this object. Hey, I can edit this object in editing, movie clip editing mode. Notice that I'm in movie clip editing mode by my icons up here on the top. Now I can click on that object. I can click on my fill color and I can change his color. Now the only thing is, when I go back to scene 1, notice that my star is the same color all the way across. It didn't change it for just that single frame. It actually changed my object to a different color. So that would be the wrong way to change the color of my star, because I want him to change from one color to another color. So in order to do this, I need to double click and be in that editing mode, that movie clip editing mode, and I need to add a tween to the stars timeline. Notice that when I double click on this star and I'm in movie clip editing mode, that this star has its own timeline with its own keyframe. When I go back to scene 1, I see that my timeline is the same as I left it. And when I double click on that movie clip, because he is a movie clip, he has his own internal timeline that I can edit independent of scene 1's timeline. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to right click on my drawing object. Notice that inside of a movie clip object is our drawing object. We've just added a layer when we created that movie clip object on top of our drawing object. So when I'm in double click and I'm in movie symbol editing mode, I have access to my drawing object and this internal timeline. Now I'm going to right click on my star and I'm going to create a shape tween like how we did for the background layer. And I'm going to add a keyframe at frame 24. So I click on frame 24 down here in my timeline and I hit my F6 key. And when I do that, it extends my tween I just created. Okay, notice the green color of my tween. It shows that I have a shape tween. Now my first frame, I do want my star to be blue. Actually, I want him to end up blue. So I'll keep my last keyframe, I'll keep my star blue. And on my first keyframe, I'll go ahead and click on that star. I'll click on the fill color and I'll change it to a different color. Notice that my tween does work. Notice that I'm not seeing the rotation here in my internal timeline because that animation is happening in my external timeline. But when I move out to scene 1, notice that I don't see the color change in my external timeline because that's happening on my internal timeline. But when I test my video, hit Control Enter, I can see my star does indeed change color from green to blue. So that internal timeline plays at the same time as my external timeline. So you can give movie clip objects their own timeline with their own internal tweens, which lets us do more than one tween at once and adds a little bit more excitement to our flash animations. Stay tuned for the last part of this video series where I'll talk about ActionScript.